Africa can be united economically. I can economically be in the same group with the Egyptians, with the Moroccans, and so on. But politically, I would like to be in a unity, where people are either similar or linked or compatible. I don't want a country where there are incompatibilities. And I think East Africa can be a perfect example, because with Swahili, with our old linkages, we already have these linkages, the old ones, the ancient linkages, plus the Swahili. We can have a very powerful union, better than the European Union, because the European Union has got limits, because they try to be like the United States, but the United States united around the English language. European Union have German, have French, have what, they all, nobody is willing to surrender to the other. But for us, apart from the foreign languages, English and French, we can have Swahili. And our union will be much easier and very, very powerful. So thank you very much for calling me, so that I can also tell you. Now, Lumumba wanted to say that Museveni's watch. If people were listening to Museveni, would have had a federation long ago. So you go and convince your new government in Kenya, and you see we shall be able to, we can move. Because these Ugandans have said I should be here for another 4 years, I'm still around. So you can use this window with the new government in Kenya, and we move. And I discussed this with Mwalimu, I can tell you this. I discussed this with Mwalimu, and we agreed that if for some reason some of the countries have got a problem, they can't move on the federation, let the ones who are ready to move. What we call variable geometry. So that one I totally support. It's not correct for the ones who have a problem to veto the ones who want to move. Because when Mwalimu was frustrated with our groups here in 1964, with Karume, they formed Tanzania. And it's there. And it has helped a bit. You can imagine what would be the case if Tanganyika was separate, Zanzibar was separate. They share the water, the continental shelf, the what, all that. There would be a lot of complications. And as you know, Zanzibar is very small. Now you find many Zanzibaris now in Tanganyika. They have got more opportunities. So it was good that Mwalimu and Sheikh Abeid Aman Karume moved while the others were dragging their feet, giving. You can be sure, if that union had been formed in 1963, there would have been no problem in Burundi, because East Africa could stop it. There would have been no genocide in Rwanda. There would have been no Idi Amin here. Even Somalia wanted to come in, by the way, that time. These problems you see in Somalia would not be there. Even Congo, because East Africa, if we were together, we would help. South Sudan, we would have helped them long ago. So it was a very big mistake, a very big historical mistake, to miss that moment of 1963. True quarters. And do damage to us when we cannot reach them. So that's why we say, we, the NRM, all these years, we said no. For us, economic integration is not enough for East Africa. It must be political, economic integration, but also political integration. Because with the political integration, then you have one army. You have one army, you have one defense system. East Africa can plan now, can plan. We can go to, because the Indians have gone there to ask the Americans what they are doing there. What are you doing here? This is our heritage. It's ours, all of us. The Russians have gone there. The Chinese have gone there. The only ones who are here are the Blackies. What did they call the Africans? Negroes or what? What did they call them? They are the only ones who are here. In fact, all the other races have gone except the Africans. They are the ones who are really content on earth here. This is very risky. This is criminal. This is criminal. To say that we are leaders and we don't see this and we are just here, Excellency, President, Madame, Excellence, Madame, Mademoiselle. In the African Union, you go there, you see, Banani. We are keeping Africans for slaughter in the future. Like looking after cows, then at some stage they are slaughtered by the one who wants to slaughter them. This is not acceptable. That's why we need East Africa can go to space. East Africa. You can go to space. You Americans, what are you doing here? Mukola Chiwano. Eh? We have also come to see what you are doing here. So, that's why Ngoga correctly captured number 2. Number 2, integration is to deal with the issue of strategic security. Otherwise, it is really, because you the generation of Africans, you are going to be like the African chiefs who are here half naked, running around, that they are very important, that is a lion, that the king is a lion. A lion, whom do you eat? He only eats. Why don't you eat the imperialists who come to? Now, these kings, I have had a long problem with them, because remember, your ancestors were here in their ignorance. We were all right. We were here with our small kings. In Ankara there, we had a small king, but the Banyankuru thought he was a great king. He was Rubambansi, the control of the whole world. They thought that Ankara was the whole world. Rubambansi, Mugabe Nyakusinga. So we had these little kings here. Here in Karagwe, Uganda, Bunyoro, all these little kings were here. They didn't know much, so you can't blame them. But the problem is that when I hear a rumor that some of you are Christians. It's not confirmed, but there's some rumor that, now if you are Christians like me, you would have read the book of the Acts of the Apostles, the journeys of St. Paul, those places where St. Paul was passing, Ephesus, Galatia, Corinth, and all those places. Some of them are now in a country that did not exist at the time of Jesus. This country is called Turkey. This Turkey you see now. It was not there. The Turkish captured Constantinople in 1453. Captured it from the people who were there, the ones whom St. Paul was talking about, the Romans. Now, when they captured Constantinople, they blocked the overland route to the east. So the Europeans could not get spices, especially which they needed for winter, for preserving food. That's how the Europeans started expanding, looking for an alternative sea route to the east. The Portuguese, 1473, they got where Sierra Leone is now. 1482, a man called Diego Cama got where Angola is now. 1487, a Portuguese man called Bartholomew Diaz got to the Cape of Good Hope. That's how they call it, the Cape of Good Hope. And then 1498, Vasco da Gama went around the Cape of Good Hope and landed in Natal on Christmas Day. That's why they called it Natal. Now, that's why my problem with the kings starts. When Vasco da Gama went from Natal, he passed by Mombasa, he bombarded Mombasa, he continued to India. From that time, 1498, these kings of ours here were aware, they were hearing that new people are coming, new people who are strong are coming, but they were just here, just not bothered. You can imagine, Vasco da Gama went around the Cape 1498. The first white man to come to Uganda was Huntington Speke in 1862. You calculate, this is a difference of 364 years. These kings are just seated here, not bothered to find out what's happening. And information was coming from the coast until the Europeans came and caught all of them like grasshoppers here. All of them were captured. Mwanga, Kabarega, all these little pharaohs who tried to resist, they were captured like grasshoppers. So, is our generation going to be like that? Like those kings? Because you have heard that somebody is in space, he's looking at you from there. And for you are here, dancing, dancing in Pakachini. Really, that's all the leaders are doing. When your people are here, and you know very well what happened to people when they are conquered. The good thing with the Africans is that they don't die easily. This is the good thing about Africans. If you go to America now, and you look for the Red Indians, they are not there. They disappeared. What they call Americans now are new people who came and took over the land of those Indians. Europeans who went and took over the land of the Indians. In South America, it's the same thing. Here, we refuse to die. That's why we are here. But is that going to be the case tomorrow? How can this generation of what they call leaders accept Africa to lag behind again? So that's why, number two, strategic security compels us to go beyond economic integration to also political integration, so we can have a safe security formula to guard ourselves against anybody. The Chinese, they are moving. You have seen the Russians, what the Russians have been able to do with their friends, the Americans. You have seen what's happening there. If it was not for the poor leadership, Wanyankore were really tough people. But these kings were hopeless. The Wanyankore, if he wants to fight you, he says, he first insults you. I will cut your mother something. Then you know that he's serious. We are not serious. Now, finally, but these people, we are begging you to integrate. Because we are begging you. The NRM, I have been, so now almost from 1963. This is the newspaper of the 3rd of June, the 6th of June, 1963. You can see the headline. Federation this year. Top level meeting of Marimo, Nyerere, Obote, Kenyatta, they are all here. You take this gift to the speaker, to the deputy, right honorable deputy speaker. And then here, there was also another meeting in Mbare. This was some years later. You take this to, you have another copy? Give Tayewa a copy, Ngoga another copy. Even remember the preacher can also get a copy. So, that was the Uganda August of June 6, 19. That was the Uganda August of the 6th of June 1963. That's when I became a follower of Mwalimu Nyerere. From that time. Now, Mwalimu Nyerere was so much committed that people say, oh, Nyerere wants to be president of East Africa. That's why he's, you know, very low-minded people. So now, Mwalimu died, he went to heaven, you are here with your problems. The Rwanda have got a good way of speaking. You know, these dialects are similar, like Kinyarwanda, Kirundi, these ones here, Kinyankore. The Wanyankore, when somebody has died, they call him Karubuti, the one who died. They don't say his name, they say Karubuti. But the Wanyarwanda say, Nyakwigendera. It is different from the Wanyankore one, but it's a good way. The one who died, Nyakwigendera, Akegendera, he went away and left you with your confusion. I liked the Banyarwanda version, Nyakwigendera. You tell people, please do this. They don't do it, you go. They continue with their nonsense. So Nyakwigendera Nyerere went. We have been begging you, please, unite yourselves. But the people who are begging to unite are actually united by God. Because if you look at Africa, the linguistic groups in Africa are only 4. The Niger Congo, the Bantus, and the Kwa of West Africa. That's one group. The second group are the Nilo-Saharan, like our Nilotics, our Hamitics, like the Somalis, like the Oromos, that's one group, the Nilo-Saharan. I don't have time to go because you will find similarities. For instance, you find our Nilotics here call water P. It means water. If you go in the Somali language, they call water Bio. The same P, but slightly changed. Bio. Then you find the Nilotic language linked with the Bantu language. Like in Acholi, they call daughter Nyara. And you know what Nyara means in the other. Then you have, so these are the second group. Then you have the Afro-Asiatic, the Arabic and Amhara and Tigrinya, and then the small South African group, the Khoisan. These are the four groups. But fortunately, for East Africa, there is a neutral dialect apart from these linkages. Because, like for instance, if you take like Runyankore group from Ukerewe in Mwanza, all those groups and Kigoma in Tanzania and Burundi, all those speak dialects which I can listen to without translation and know what they are talking about. Kinyarwanda, Kirundi, Kiha, Chikerewe, Kizinza. I don't need translation. All the way to Lumumba's place, Professor Lumumba, the Luya. I can hear what they are saying, know many of the things they are saying. When I visited the Vice President, Yoweri, I visited Yoweri, the former Vice President of Kenya. The women came singing, Ingula Mlango, Museveni Yizire. Now, how could I fail to know that? Ingula Mlango, Museveni Yizire. Ingula, open. So apart from those linkages, we are lucky to have this dialect, which is neutral, doesn't belong to anybody, called Swahili. Swahili is a dialect which doesn't belong to anybody. We can use it in the whole of Africa. It is not Uganda, it is not Runyankore, so you will not say Baganda have imposed their language. No, it's neutral. Swahili, it developed on the coast. Sahel is coast in Arabic. These are the people who are saying, please, unite in order to achieve prosperity for your people, but also strategic security for your people. This is what we are begging you. Mariam begged you until he went away. No. We had a member of parliament here in Parliament of Uganda who used to speak, he had a speech defect. Mayanja Nkanji. No, Ab Mayanja. He used to speak Obulimi. Obulimi is when you speak with the tongue out. So when they were debating that issue there, and Obote was beginning to develop cold feet, then Ab Mayanja stood up in Parliament. Some people want to remain big fishes in small ponds. So, this problem of wanting to remain big fish in a small pond, that's what I remember I was talking about. Getting a hair instead of 100% of a hair instead of 10% of an elephant. That's what you are talking about. So these are the people we are begging you to. So what are really the factors? Why can't people see what is so good for them? I think in your analysis, you need to notice what many of the actors are not wealth creators. They are not part of the wealth creation. Many of the actors are wealth consumers. They are the ones, the bureaucracy say what. They consume wealth, but they don't produce it. So they don't know the challenges of wealth creation. Because if you are a wealth creator, you would know the importance of the market. Market internal, market regional, market international. Germany, this Germany you see now, by 1871, was not one country. It had 39 kingdoms. Prussia, Saxony, this one, Bavaria, 39 of them. And there were kings, small kings there. But there was a big business group in Prussia called Junkers. They are written as Junkers, but they are pronounced as Junkers. These were big producers. They would produce a lot of, I don't know what, whether it was wheat or I don't, you can do the research. They were big producers, and they had a problem of market to sell, like we're having now, what you call the non-tariff barriers, LTBs. They are the ones who backed Bismarck, who united Germany after the 1870 war with France, the Franco-Prussian War of 1870. So, I think one of the weaknesses is the lack of this group, a powerful business group, business groups that understand the importance of markets. And then we have got the bureaucracy. Bureaucracy, for them, they just eat what is on the table. As long as there's some salary to pay them, they are not bothered. Mwalimu and some of us, we intellectually see the importance of the integration. And that's why we preach. But it would be good if we had these ones who are doing it for the sake of... Now, the other people, like the Maasai, Ngoga talked about, the border communities. The border communities, the traders, the small people, the ordinary people, they see the importance, but they don't have power. They don't have power. Like those Maasai whom he talked about. This is the same problem all over all these borders. All of them, these borders are an oppression of the people of the border. They are oppressed. In there, I have my relatives in Karagwe, Tanzania. They are there. The other time, one of my clansmen died in Tanzania. And I had to ring His Excellency Kikwete. Can I go and... they had already buried him. So can I go and put a flower at his grave? So I went, and when I arrived there, the regional commission, the whole government was there. It was a diplomatic situation. We should really... This is not fair for these border people. All these borders, from the border Katuna, you find Bachiga on the other side, Bachiga on this side, Chisoro, Chinyarwanda speakers on this side, Chinyarwanda speakers on the other side. Then you come to Kasese, you don't know who is a Congolese and who is a Ugandan. Then you go to Bundubujo, you go to there are rules of Congo. Oh, they are all here in Hoima. They are now all Ugandans. you can't know who is who. You remember they used to say that Idi Amin was a Congolese, was a Sudanese. This is because Idi Amin's tribe, the Kakwa, are more in Congo and in South Sudan than even the ones in Uganda. Then Madis, you know the Madis. You remember there was a big man in South Sudan, Joseph Lagu. Is he still alive? Is he alive, Joseph Lagu? He's alive. That man is a Madi like these ones of Uganda. Like, oh, do you want to know how Madis look like? My daughter-in-law stand up and they see how Madis look like. Aniko, she's a Madi. Then there are Choris, then there were the what do you call the Busia people, the Samia. We had our vice president in Kenya, and Agurewor wanted to be president in Uganda. Then you have the Bagisu, Bukusu, Mzee Moi's group. Mzee Moi's Karenjin, the Sabine. You have got some Sabine there. So these people, for them, they know the importance of integration, but they don't have the power. The power is with some other people, the bureaucrats. But even in ancient times, even before the capitalist era, really, although the kings were also blocking us, but goods were coming from Zanzibar all the way to Bagamoyo, to Tabora, to Karagwe, to Uganda, and all the way to Congo. So therefore, I'm very glad to hear that you have formed this group. Really, this is a matter of survival. If you want Africa to be like Latin America, that option is there. 300 years from now, I don't know what will be happening, whether the Africans will still be around or what. Or Africa will be a very powerful place. And East Africa is the one with the best chance. There was a debate between Mwalimu and Nkrumah about having the union. Nkrumah wanted to have the All African Union government.